What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, I'm gonna be going over 7 deadly sins and how well it's doing financially. So let's hop into the video. Alright, guys, so I wanted to make this video to kind of give you guys an idea how much Grand Cross is actually making right now before anniversary, because this is covering for May, so it's not actually going to be the anniversary, for global at least, but we'll be talking about the other versions as well and kind of give you guys an idea of how much Grand Cross is making right now. And yeah, I thought this would be kind of a cool video so you guys know how well the game is doing, and yeah, to give you guys an idea of what it's looking like. So first things first, this is Grand Cross on the Google Play Store for the global version. So you guys can see here 200,000 downloads worldwide and $3 million in revenue. To kind of give you guys an idea as well in like comparison to like another game before we actually move over to the other versions of Grand Cross. Dragon Ball Legends, which I don't know exactly when they started their anniversary or if it's like even started in May or whatever the case. They're at $3 million in revenue with 900k downloads, right? Like it's pretty cool to see, right? Like $3 million for both games, so they're both making around the same amount of money, but Dragon Ball Legends is getting a lot more downloads, which I mean, it makes sense, right? It's a Bandai Namco game. It's Dragon Ball, yeah, like, who doesn't know Dragon Ball, you know what I mean? So it's mainly like the IP, I think, which is definitely showing how much downloads the game can actually get. And yeah, I mean, it kind of goes to show that Grand Cross, for what it is, man, 200k downloads, like, and still making 3 million in revenue, very, very strong for the game, man. Another comparison game is going to be Dislight. Dislight actually just released like a month ago, give or take now, right? And they're making $6 million in revenue on their first month of release and 3 million downloads. So that is an insane amount of a number compared to Grand Cross, obviously. But take into account that Dislight literally just released a month ago, so it's only in its first month of release, right? Yeah, and then another game that we can kind of talk about is Genshin. Obviously, Genshin is doing numbers, so not really much to compare with Grand Cross, but this is one of the biggest players in the App Store, in the Google Play Store. Like, if you go to Genshin, I'll just search it up right now. Genshin on iOS is making 21 million, right? Like, that's a lot more money than even the Google Play Store. So it really is just insane in terms of how much Genshin makes compared to Grand Cross, man. So that's definitely one of the higher up games in the App Store for sure. But yeah, and then we have Bleach Brave Souls, which is actually, I think, a pretty fair comparison to Grand Cross, considering the game's been out for about 6 years now. The longer the game's lifespan, it's going to be a little bit harder for the game to keep up. 700k revenue, but Bleach Brave Souls is actually getting more downloads than Grand Cross, right? 700k in revenue, but 300,000 downloads, while Grand Cross is at 3 million revenue, so making a lot more money, but a little bit less downloads. So you can see that even though BBS has really bad packs, like, the fact that it's the Bleach IP, I think is definitely helping them in terms of the downloads. So now that we've kind of went over like comparison's sake for other games, let's kind of look at Grand Cross now and the other ways you can actually play it. So this is going to be on the iTunes store. So this is Google Play, 200k downloads, 3 million revenue. This is the iTunes store for global, so it's making $2 million in revenue and then 70k downloads, which is a lot less than Android, which it definitely shows, right? I think Android, a lot more people are able to access Android than iOS in terms of playing games. So that's kind of why Grand Cross, I'd say, is definitely more accessible on the Android version, and a lot more people are there. But you can see that even with $2 million in revenue for 70k downloads, like, that's a good ratio for the amount of people spending on the game then at that point, right? Because that just means that the less people downloading the game, but still with a high amount of money, that means there's consistent players spending on Grand Cross. That's something to take into account. This is going to be the Japanese version on the Google Play Store. So this is during, this was during anniversary, to be fair, right? This was during anniversary, so $1 million in revenue, 20k downloads, right? Very, very good considering it's only getting 20,000 downloads with a $1 million in revenue, right? Like, if you compare 200k downloads but 3 million, but if Grand Cross is on JP is doing 20k downloads a month but getting $1 million in revenue, that is a good ratio, I think, because that just means that a lot of the people that are on the game are continuing to spend and continuing to spend. They're consistent spenders on the game. And then we actually look at the iTunes store for Grand Cross, and you can see that it's even bigger on the iTunes store for whatever reason compared to the JP version, right? Or no, this is both the JP version, but on the Android app store, right? So $5 million in revenue, 30k downloads. That is a really crazy amount, man. So that goes to show, like, a lot of the JP players on Grand Cross are super big heavy spenders, man. That's what's definitely keeping the game alive for sure, man, in terms of people that are playing the game on the Japanese version, compared to the global version, which is making 3 million, but they're getting a lot more downloads because, you know, global is a lot more accessible to the average, you know, person on the App Store, the Google Play Store, whatever the case, right? So that's kind of you know, a cool idea though. In terms of the KR version, I'm not actually sure, you know, 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross for the KR version. I have to pull up Netmarble and see, like, if I can find their games, right? Like, let me see if I can find Grand Cross on the Korean version, right here. Yeah, so the Korean version of Grand Cross, right? So this is, for them, they're making what, 5,000 downloads and 300k revenue. So you can see that the Korean version is not really doing as well. But yeah, it honestly, like, the JP and the global version really do carry Grand Cross in terms of revenue. But you can see here that even though the KR version is not too big, they still make a good amount for the amount of downloads they're getting. 5,000 downloads a month, but they still make $300,000 in revenue. So that is a pretty cool thing to look at, man. And yeah, if you guys want to look at this yourself in terms of any game, by the way, you can look at literally any game in the App Store or the Google Play Store. Definitely make sure to check out Sensor Tower. I use this as kind of like a guide, so I know, you know, how well the game is doing in the App Store, and it can also kind of show you where they're kind of ranking, you know, right now in the categories too. So let's actually do another comparison here. So top grossing overall, Grand Cross, the highest it's gotten, I think, lately, yeah, so in June, which this doesn't take into account the revenue, by the way, because this is for June, while this was for May worldwide. But you can see here that Grand Cross hit 47th highest in the top grossing overall, right? Which is really, really strong. If we go to a game like Dragon Ball Legends here, they usually hit, you know, like, kind of higher in the top grossing areas as well. But I don't think they ever hit like a super, like, you know, top, like, #1 or anything like that. But they're still kind of comparable, right? Like, you know, during this all of May, really, Dragon Ball Legends was kind of down here in like the 300s ranking. And then, you know, with their anniversary, they spike up, and they're, you know, they're very, very high there, kind of averaging around, you know, the 20-30 mark, which is really strong, right? So yeah, that kind of gives you guys an idea. And for a game like Dislike, let's say, if you go to like top grossing overall, I think they've been just stuck at the top grossing area, man, just because they're a new game, so a lot of people are getting into it with all the advertisements and such. Let's go to Genshin Impact. Let's go to top grossing overall for Genshin. Let's actually see how well they do. So yeah, Genshin just stays at the top, man, in comparison, really. They're easily like averaging like the top 10 area, as long as it's not a dead period for the game. And even around this time period, like this time period for Genshin was a super dead period. So the fact that they're still in like the top 100 of top grossing really goes to show, man, how much of a foothold they have in the App Store and the Google Play market. But yeah, man, that's just you know, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea about Grand Cross and where it is in the App Store and the Google Play Store. If you guys want me to do another video like this after the anniversary is done for the June worldwide revenue and stuff, we can kind of talk about it then. I'm definitely down to make a video about that as well. So you guys let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day.